Welcome back everyone to Alchemy Factory, and in the last episode we built this beauty down here. Well, we jerry-rigged an old system and we have got in there glass being made, brick being made, and we've also got 2 lines of salt coming down. Now at the moment, let's put the hood back on. I do have a salt quest that needs 480, so I'm using a lot of that, but as soon as we've used that salt up, it will come and start making us a Saturn relic. I did clear the boxes at the top of 1 stack of glass and brick, just so all this keeps running. So I probably don't need this storage here anymore, but it's there as a buffer. And charcoal powder is not struggling, but it is, even with the 30% efficiency, it's right on the limit. But I can easily fix that. I've got a massive amount of charcoal powder here. So if that one does ever break or doesn't produce enough, what I can do at the moment is just put a box down here. We could put a priority splitter on. And I think I want to do that, because I want this stuff to be used because it's burning up anyway. So yeah, let's put a priority splitter down. We do use a lot of these days, and they are very, very useful. Yeah, priority splitter. Priority would be the yellow. Ah, no, it wouldn't be a priority splitter. It would be a priority merger I need, because I want to merge 2 lines. So the priority would be the bottom. It would be very hard to put that on. So in that case, I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to put a box here. And we'll just fill it up with charcoal powder. I'm not using it and I just want to get it out my inventory. We took, in between episodes, I took all these builds down. So this was the old brick build here and a fertilizer build that hasn't really done anything for probably about 4 hours gameplay. Probably even more than that since we did the advanced fertilizer. Now, we do have 2 lines of wood here, and that's what I'm going to be dealing with in this episode. Because at the moment, we have got this old setup down here to do gears. Now, I have stopped it from buying. I am going to remove the portal now. This shouldn't have been buying for a long time. I want to get rid of this system here. Because at the moment, I was buying logs to make the gears, but I've got 2 lines of logs sitting on the other side doing nothing. And I think I want to do is what I did the last episode, is I want to be able to turn all my access stuff into something. So I think we're going to be setting up another relic over the back just for experience this time. These boxes can go now. If we need more wood, I can do that later. But yeah, I've got enough wood and enough stone in there to keep me going for quite a while. And this is to make the... that's to make the mortars. We'll probably do something with that, but I want to obsolete this. I could even just... clear you out totally. And then we can just put all the logs into this. It will just use it down into planks. I'm always going to need planks at every point of the game. And then let it use up all the back stock. And when it does, I'll clear the boxes in the store. And then we'll set them up over this side here. So let's go and have a look at that salt. Have we got up to 200? Not quite. We're about 120 short. We've still got a few hours. We're making 20 an hour. It's going to be very close at the very end. But if I desperately need to, I can just come and take the salt off here or off the shelves. Just need to make sure that belt keeps running. So yeah, we'll have a look at that later. So let's have a look at over here. Because at the moment here, we have got 2 full lines of 60. And we're only partially using this one for wooden pulleys. So I think I want a second wooden pulley machine, because we've still got a good amount of... yeah, we're still full on these boxes, even though I did cut the production down, slowed our machines down, back down to 60. None of these are still moving. So how would I get 2 wooden pulleys machines here? Might be just as easy as changing this belt. So let's take you back down to about here. I do have enough space to just plug you into there. That would work. We could have you out on this side here. We'll still have you feeding in the same, but I've just got to get a priority splitter on. Because both these belts, I would need 4 spaces to merge this. I might be able to do it with that. Let's have a look. Now, this scanning is quite easy in the first machine. I can just go like that. And the second machine, I can just bring it wide. Yeah, like that. So now we've got rope going into both. So we would want to get this wood into both now. Now, these machines only need 30 if it's running at full power, and I don't think it will ever be. If I need to, I'll move the cannon back 1. But let's just see if we can do it without it. So I want this to be entering the machine at this point. There. Entering the machine, and I want it to be coming out on the top. And then we can just take a copy of you for here. So all I've got to do is get this up into these 2 holes. So just a couple of these little stands like that will work. Get rid of 1 more belt. And at the moment, this is cutting down on the amount of mushrooms we're making, so I do want to speed that up. Because that's quite critical, because it's making us a lot of money. And there it is. That wood's now plugged into 2 machines. And then I've just got to deal with an output. I think if you come from here, go back in towards this machine and come out here. That means both of these pulleys should come onto here, and then that should give me enough for the priority splitter. So the priority is always going to be going into this machine, which is for the shop. So that's perfect. Yep, that works. Put a belt at the bottom. So now the shop is always going to get its pulleys first. And then we'll bring you just to here for the moment. Anything that's not going into the shop will now come out here. Because the thing I am looking to do is this relic here. It's here on the back. It just needs pulleys, which we've got there. Wood, we've got 2 lines. And then it just needs some small wooden gears. And that's what I'm going to be doing with some of these lines. And if I ever need to, I can always add another wood producer over here. We could just bring you down here. Yeah, that'll work exactly there. It gives me enough room to do what I need to do with everything else. So let's drop you into the machine. Let's take it from that top belt. So now we've got pulleys coming in here. We could just plug 1 line of... We just need to make sure whatever we do, we don't affect this belt. This has to be running 60 a minute into the relic over there. Otherwise, it stops that from working. I could also put a priority splitter on here and say prioritise the wood in there, and if anything's left over, come down here. But just for now, I'm going to plug 1 line in. And I've got feeds on this side I can put the gears in, so that's absolutely fine. Just want some of these boxes to go down. Okay, so we're down to 1 box on this side. What about that side? Just take a little bit. That will give me a bit more room to get this wood, but we've got plenty of room to play with here. And we know the process from over here. We don't need more. I mean, this is overproducing for the shop, but if we do want it to be going into a relic, then maybe overproducing is good. So let's just have a look at these numbers. So 10 a minute on these. That'll do 30 a minute into this. Is that right? Yeah. Into small gears, and then the small gears goes up 3. So if I wanted to do 60 a minute, I would need 4 processors. I don't think I need 4. I think 3 processors is more than enough. 3 processors would mean I would only need 15 a minute. I think I might stick with the same what I've got here. 2 processors. And 3 grinders. But we do have the advanced grinders now. So we can just put the advanced grinders in instead. So we just connect that to the wood line. I won't connect it to the shop until we've cleared all that stuff out the other side. So yeah, let's bring this wood line up. This will go soon, and then I can always cut it and move it back if I need to. But it's going into the relic here. So that would be the output. So I would want... These would have to go into the shop as well. So I would have to do priority splitters on. That's already been dealt with. So the gears, both the large and the small, would have to take priority into the shop. So yeah, let's start off with the advanced and see how good these are with the ratios. Because we haven't done these on this build. If I was to put you there, what's your ratio? So it's doing 20 a minute. So I could just literally plan for all 60 of this to be used up. Now, I don't want that box like that. Let's put that plant ash back in. Oh, and I've missed the quest. I'm not going to be able to get the salt in time. Ah, just missed it by a second. Oh, bother. I said I had to be careful of it as well. So not a bad day. 192,000 we earned today. Spending's getting closer, about 180,000. And if we'd have got that quest, we would have been really quids in, but I did forget. Bother. Okay, let's go and get that Jupiter. That's a nice, easy one. There should be plenty in the box. Let's see how many I've got here. How close are we to the next point? Just one more. I think I'm just going to chuck everything I don't need for this quest. I want to put the salt back upstairs to backlog it. Yeah, I'm annoyed I missed that quest, but that's 62,000. We don't desperately need the money, but it is definitely helping us. Yeah, let's go and fill this salt box. That would allow all salt to go into the relic now. So yeah, the shop's full. So we should start seeing salt coming out the top here into the relic. Because I've got a lot of salt on me, I'm just going to chuck 20 in there. Perfect. Now the shop's full. We're starting, and we're only selling 40 a day in the shop. We're doing 480 a day, if I remember right, on the numbers of the salt. So now that's going to keep all these systems running. Brick did back up. It's coming back into here. Glass hasn't back up yet. So now is the time. Let's fill the glass box upstairs so that backs up as well. Oh, it was nearly full anyway. So that should start allowing glass to come in here as well. Salt's coming in. And we should see glass and bricks coming out of these pretty soon. Okay, and that's what I wanted to see. Glass and brick is now backed up and salt's backed up. So now it's going to start producing it. And we've already got 8% of a relic here. 150 silver each we can sell these for. But these are more likely just going to be for quests or for experience. So I just flooded the system with glass just because I got so much of it on me. Now it should continue doing its thing. We'll keep an eye on it. So we've got the 3 grinders done. We would need this. Can I put a belt over the top of a shaper? No. We could easily get over there. We could just put a stand here. We could just put the cannon there. Now, we would need priority splitters we'd need on this. Priority splitter would take 2. Yeah, we could work with it. So we'll have all the belts coming from the edge coming into the priority splitter. Priorities to the bottom would mean I would need to go out... Maybe something like that, because I've got to be able to get the top belt out. We'll set the cannons up, but none of this is going into the shop until we've cleared the other area. And then the top, I've got room to feed it round. That's fine. And then everything over here will be used in some form. So now I want to drop it off the top onto the bottom, which is perfect there. So anything, because this is going nowhere, it will come down this line. And then this is going to be fed into our processors, I think it was. I think it was you that had the recipe to make the small, yep. And I think 2 of these is going to be more than enough. So those are the large gears that go into this, and we can just go something like that. And then we can put the other cannon on the edge here. Let's change your factor into the closest, and then we don't need that end belt. And then this is the one that will go into the relic. So we'll just put you to something like that. We would want another priority splitter. You can go now. We've got everything done with you. And then we'll put the cannon 1 away from this just so I can get the belt into the relic. Actually saying that, we don't need the priority splitter. Oh yes, I would still need it. Even though we're not prioritising the large gears, I would need the shop done before I'm sending it into small. So yeah, we'll just stick it where we've got. We'll put a little stand there. A little belt out. And then we'll bring this straight down into the relic here. Coming out the right way, swing the top round. And then you just get plugged straight the way in. So if we have a quick look at this, it's already got everything it needs except for the gears. And these machines would have backed up while it's been waiting. And now we've got another way of making a relic. But this one here, I'm not going to sell in the shop, or I'm just going to put it straight into one of these. That's all this job is. It's just my overflow going into something useful. Just want to have a look at the numbers. So the small gears is the thing that is behind, but it is the last thing I set up. So if any of the other lines did back up, so I want to have a look, make sure all these lines are moving smooth. So the one that's not moving smooth at the moment is the large gears. And we'll have the box upstairs eventually to store the gears in. I think I am going to put another machine, just because the line's not moving as fast as I want it to. So we'll just do that. And if I need to, I can put another machine in and we'll do another one. Just want to make sure these lines are running. If these lines are not running, it then cuts down my mushroom production, which is somewhere down the back here. So at the moment, there's nothing backlogged up with the mushrooms. Let's have a look. Make sure the contracts are still working here. Yeah, it's just the mushrooms backed up. We are stealing some of the mushrooms to convert some of this basic fertilizer. You're empty. I'll go and put that in a box somewhere. I don't need this anymore. And how much have we got? Still got about 280 to convert over into advanced. Nearly a full box of it. But it's more useful as an advanced than it is at basic for me. This is totally backed up. But now we're actually going to start using some of the rope to make pulleys. It will start using some of that fertilizer again. I think just for now, because everything is still stationary, I'm just going to chuck an extra machine. I did say I might have needed 4. Because this belt is quite stationary at the moment. Yeah, 15. Those should be balanced now. So that line should always continuously be moving. This line is the one that's backing up. That's going into here. But as soon as we've got the gears coming in faster, it will use the wood. Unfortunately, we need 180 a minute of the gears. It's always going to be the one behind. I could even just get an extra table saw or another gear setup if I want. But the main purpose of this was just to use up this wood. Or at least keep the mushrooms flowing a bit better than they are. Yeah, 8% already. Let's go and work on our next build. Just having a look at the belts before we continue on with the builds. At 3 coins, most of these belts are fully all the way around. I'm just having a look at the back end here, because this is where a lot of the spending happens. And I'm sitting on nearly 1,000 gold, silver on me at the moment. So I think it's time we move these belts up. I'll just move it up 1 tier. So we're going to tell the belts to start producing 4 in a stack, not the 3 it's been doing. And because we got 2 contracts, it does mean I've got to change both these as well. This belt is running pretty good. There's no money sitting on this line, so that's great. And let's have a look at this one. Yeah, this line's nice and clear. So it is managing to filter onto the line pretty good. Yeah, that would definitely help out. And I think I don't need to be walking around with all this money. I'm going to put half my money just down into the bottom corner. That will filter onto the line as well. We are up to the end of the day. And I think we did the quest. Yeah, we did the quest. So where do we want to be going? I think everything is locked behind copper now. Now, copper isn't a really slow build. And I have set myself a condition now. Because we'll be coming up to cauldrons, and cauldrons are just so overpowered, you can make stuff really easy in small builds, which would take a massive amount. I'm only allowing myself to use a cauldron if I do the build in the official way. And I want copper powder. It is going to be a very, very big build. And I might even need another power plant for it. So let's go and unlock this, and then we'll have a look at the numbers. Now, copper is needed for malachite, the powder. It is needed for copper bearings, and it's also needed for bronze rivets. Now, bronze rivets and copper bearings both are sold in the shop. We can also turn the copper ingots into copper coins, and we can move them back into change. So if we've got too much money, we could actually get the copper coins to turn into copper ingots, which can then make copper bearings in a very simple system. All I would need to do is plug into the line a bank portal to take the silver back to copper and get the copper straight into a kiln. It takes 400 coins to make a copper ingot. So being as though we've got a lot of money, that is an option available to me. There is another option available to me, is refiners. This is another way of printing money. So basically, to make a diamond, which I think I need to go for my menu. We did look at this a few episodes ago. Okay, that's the copper ingots we just unlocked. We'll have a look at them in a minute. So to make a diamond, it would just basically be sand. Fully refined sand, which comes from sand through a lot of steps to make a crude shard. So I think I want to do a diamond build. Now, we know how to do sand pretty effectively because we have got one up in the corner here. We've also got these triple stacks, which are easy. We know these come down as sand. And I've got all this space around here doing nothing. Yeah, we'll start up in the corner here. So, diamond builds will set up a long process. You have to filter the sand multiple times. Let's go into my blueprints and I want the stone triple stack. I am going to put it out here because I want to do some alterations to it. I want to take off a lot of this top stuff. Okay, I've streamlined it. I've took all the stuff off the top what I don't need. So I'm just going to copy this a few times. I think I'll start off by using 2. So I need to pick up plenty of gears for this. And I need to pick up my wood. So having a quick look up at the boxes. Yeah, steel gears are nearly backed up. We'll take the full 200 there. Nails are backed up. Salt is backed up. Glass is backed up. Brick is backed up. That's looking nice. And everything over here would have been backed up as well. Because those have been running pretty good for a while. Did we actually get you into the shop? I didn't. Keep forgetting about this one here. I'm just going to put a cannon there. And we'll get a couple of cannons. Maybe coming onto this shelf would be better. Yeah, I can get you in the top. And I can get you there. We're just going to get both those shelves filled up with vitality potions. So maybe bring it to over this side here. So let's come out this way. Let's build down an old line of them. And then we'll see where the cannon can actually hit from there. It can't hit any of them, okay? Put the cannon out in front. Come up the stairs. Still can't hit. You can hit these down here. Yeah, we'll use that one then. Okay, just having a look at the figures of what we're selling in the shop. We're only selling 26 salt. So we're having over 400 a day spare. We're actually selling 70 glass. I'm only selling 25 bricks. That's why the glass is having a bit more strain on it. And we did the quest, and the gloom spores will go back up soon as we finish turning that basic into advanced. So what did we get? About 310,000? No, about 300,000. And we spent 168. Yeah, still good numbers. So yeah, I need to remove you. We don't need this box down here anymore. I only want it in one box. Does mean everything over here we'll get rid of. Do the same as what we normally do. Could I get the cannons over here to reach that side? Because it would be better. No, we've still got some room here. I'll stick with what we got. And all we got to do is plug it into both cannons. So yeah, we'll just bring you like this. Coming up to the nearest cannon, I think is there. And we've already set the target up. And I think I'm just going to go and put these on the shelf myself, so I've not got an inventory full. Okay, that clears them out of my inventory at least. And that should start firing them down. We'll have a check on it in a minute. Let's have a look at the quest. Needs a lot of salt, a lot of yeast powder, and turquoise. So before we get on to any builds, let's go and get this sorted. Okay, we've got the items that's needed for the quest. Let's go and turn that in. That's going to be 58,000 roughly. Clear some of the salt I had in the boxes. And let's get rid of that copper stuff. Let's have a check on the 2 builds we had with the relics. So this hasn't made one yet. It is at 20%. It's because the glass is a little bit behind. But the glass is starting to back up here. And then we'll start having the glass feeding into this. So that's not too bad. It will earn me one at some point. We will do a proper setup. Running that relic efficient. I just want to get into some of the other stuff. What was the other thing I was coming to look at? The other relic over here. So yeah, it's already up to 65%. More gears. The lines are keep moving, so that's pretty good. Are we getting any backlog on the mushrooms yet? No, because the belt's not full. And how much have we got? We're literally on the last basic fertilizer. That was perfect timing coming over. This machine should stop after it's done the 20. Probably some stuff on the belt. Yeah, so I can get rid of that box now. Then we'll go back up to doing gloom spore stuff at full pelt. That is nearly a full box. Let's check the boxes over here, how they're doing with the advanced fertilizer. We're still full. Yeah, we're still full. So what I'm going to do here... You're feeding where? You're coming down here, onto here, and then you was feeding the systems that side. So that's fine. I don't want to break that. So the easiest way to do this... is just put a couple of more boxes in. I want this system to be running as efficient as it can. And then it will also allow me to get rid of this box. Put it all onto the same system. And then I can at least keep track of how much advanced fertilizer I've got. You're down to the last couple of bits here. We'll let you finish. We don't need any more mushrooms coming this way. They can all go where they should be, into the gloom spores. And you've done the last one. So both those can go. And whatever mushrooms I've got left, let's just chuck them into the machines. Probably easier if I put the stuff into the box at the back. Okay, that's running okay. How is the pulleys doing? Yeah, pulleys are still keeping up at 20s. And it's not even taking a strain on the rope we've got in the background. Same over here, I'm just checking on the bandages. Yeah, still coming in at full. I could put another machine making bandages if I want to. It wouldn't be that hard to do. Because the potions are at a standstill there. Yeah, let's plan for that. Let's supersize everything. Output's very easy. We can go from the front straight into the same splitter. The cloth, I can easily get in from this side. We'll take it from that belt, bring it into the machine here. No, we don't want it in that side. We just want it in this side. We'll have the potions come a little bit up to there. Make sure I've got no potions on me. And then all we've got to do is just drop it into the machine here. So we'll increase our bandage contract amount. We're not anywhere near maxing it at the moment. And if we check the machine, we should have a good amount of healing potions coming through now. And if I need to, I can easily get a 4th machine on. We just have to put them around this side. As long as they go into that same joining, it's fine. So now we're making 18 bandages a minute. Still doing all the priority splits into the shop. And then everything's going into contract. So yeah, we're only about 100 a day. And we're coming up to about midday. So we're doing about 200 a day. We can go up to 800. It's a way of printing money. But just for now, I think I'm happy with where we are with that. Let's come back to this diamond build. So we stripped everything down. We just need the inputs. I think this still has the one with the broken input on this side. So let me just fix that. So this will be taking money off the belt and bringing it up to here. And then we have sand coming out these 3 at the front. And because this is going to be stone, that is going to be my 60 a minute. And I want to get at least a couple of these down. We'll keep that out in the open so I can copy it. And we'll start from this corner. Okay, I've got enough to put 2 down. So we'll use the refiners. We haven't used them up until yet. And you can't do these until you got steel gears because it does take steel gears to make these. I can't remember the ratios on here and it doesn't tell you until you plug it in. So just for now, I'm going to deal with one side. So if we converge all those belts into the center and then bring it out, we just got to tell the portals what to buy. Okay, first one has been blocked up. Let's go and set the portals and we want to be buying limestones. I cleared my backlog, so that's fine. And I don't have too many more builds to take down. There is, I think, one more basic fertilizer I need to take down at some point. So now this will be producing sand. I think it's the 7th machine it changes. So I'm just going to put 6 machines out like this. We will do this in a much better, more efficient system soon. But what I want is to go to the point where it changes to a crude shard. Just for now, I want a box that's on the floor and see if it's that stage. Because when I know at what stage it is, then I know what to work with. So this is currently doing, it's taking 40 sand in to make 20. So if I want to max this at 60 a minute in the first machine, then I would need 1.5 builds. Actually, no, we'd only need 2 inputs. 2 machines would be able to do this right. But not in the same machine because the maximum it can take is 40 a minute. So what I would need to do is cut you off. There's my 40 a minute going in. You and you would then have to combine. And I actually did have it in the center. So you come into here. You come into here. And then we'll combine them all into a machine. And then we can get these 2 to thread like that into here. Could just tell you to go in like that and stop them from meeting. So yeah, that goes into there. It takes 3 seconds to do. And then every one you will see it's going down. It's still refined sand. And we want to get to the point where it's fully refined sand. So fully refined sand, if we have a look at the menu, which is a very sort of, yeah, not a great system to get it down to here. But yeah, crude shards would take fully refined sand. So if we want to get up to the crude shard stage, I would just need another machine there. Now if we put a box down there, this should come out as crude shards. Just need to make sure I don't pick any of this up. So where are you down to? You're actually down to that one now. So it hasn't got to these end ones yet. Ah, I think it has actually got one in there. I just need to wait for that one to spin. So you'll see it takes a long time to get the stuff down. And I want to set this up. So we're not going to do a massive build on this. Just a couple of these. It's going to be taking money off the line. It costs about 65 to 70,000. I forgot the exact amount. I did actually work it out on my save, but I haven't got that information on me at the moment. But you can basically turn in 65 to 70,000 into 100,000 sort of the copper. But yeah, make sure I'm choosing limestone and not rock salt or the other stuff. Come on, let's buy some limestone. Once I know the ratios, I want to be able to do like a little stack of the things going up. But just for the moment, this will work. Purchasing limestone. We should see this coming to life pretty soon. 20 out there and the 20 out there with the sand. And because this has got nowhere to go, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure this side was done right. There's nothing in that machine. And there's nothing in the box. So for now, I'm going to move you back one. So this is going to take me up to a crude shard. And if we have a look at the menu, now we know it's in a different form. It would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more machines. So yeah, 1 machine here, 2 machine, 3 machine, 4 machine, 5 machine, 6 machine to get a diamond. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this last one would just be the diamond. It will take a long time to do, but like I said, you will see big gaps. It will be buying a lot of this stuff. It is a fairly slow process doing it this way, but that's what you need to make a diamond. And we should start seeing some diamonds out here at some point. I'm going to be stuck with that crude shard because I can't get back into the machine. But what I can do is we'll just stick with this at the moment. I do want to make a stackable version of it. Yeah, let's copy that. I want to plug it in there, and I want to plug it in there. So now in each of these boxes we should have a diamond. Will take a long time. You will see where them turning up to see where it's got to. So it's got one fully refined here. It's waiting for the second, but it won't allow me to plug the shards into here. So that's fine. We've got uses for crude shards later. Just for now, I'll get out my inventory. So I just want to have a look over here. Still got small gears, so the small gears are just not selling anywhere near as fast. How are we doing in large? So I could actually set the large up upstairs. Where is the large gears? Is here. Let's set that so there's nothing in there, and let's go and see where we want to plug these large gears in. So it's over here. We had a cannon. Somewhere in this batch. There. Large gears going into this. So this will have to have a cannon. About 2.5 tiles. It might get to somewhere around here. I'm trying to be a little optimistic by thinking it can go here, but we're just going to try it out. See if you can go anywhere near that. That'll be you. He can actually go to here. That's not too bad. Two, 4, 6. Yeah, we'll have it in that one. Let's get you onto there. And let's go. I think we need another one upstairs because I think I'm using them all. Yep. Wooden pulleys there is the last one. And we know from previous experience, doing them from the outside is so much easier than trying to do them from inside. And that's you here. And then we'll put small gears up this side as well. We should be able to get to a couple of units to be able to put it in. Yeah, let's put the box there. A couple of platforms. And we know this is large gears. And I've got a lot on me, so let's just take the 100 on me, put the rest in the system. And we're out of gears, so let's go and pick some more up. I'll pick them all up. So it is just about keeping up with our needs. Everything else is full up here. So that means that relic should be probably getting close to being made. And where do we want you? So I'm just having a look at the spaces. I've got one in that corner. Might want it on the front, just so I can have the two gears next to each other. Yeah, we'll have it there. And I'll set up the other one into here. Yeah, it just doesn't like doing it from that side. And we'll set up this one ready. For the small one as soon as I can get rid of that other stuff. Because I've got a 200 box inside. Plus I've got the stuff outside. So I don't want it set up yet. Yeah, nice selection of cannons. So we've still got one shelf at the back there. And one shelf there. And now we've got one up in that corner to use as well. That one there as well will be cleared out. So maybe I should have just put the large gears back where it was. Could you get up to where... Yeah, I should have just stuck with the same shelves. That's fine. We can easily clear it. Keep these for the farther cannons. The top ones are always going to be a bit more tricky to get to. And mortars at some point I will need to fix. But we've still got more than enough to keep us going. And we're still trying to get rid of them gears in there. So yeah, I'll set up the other one later. So let's have a look at the here. This side will be the quickest one to do. Okay, end of day. Okay, just having a look at the shop today. 62 salt sold. So we've still got about an excess of about 380 a day. Our contracts are doing pretty good now. We did increase our bandage one, so we're getting up towards 350 out of the 800. So we definitely could put more processes to make more bandages quite easily with what we've got available still to us. We'll go and have a check on that. 265, 365, 440,000 we earned and 216 we spent out. And we will be spending out more on the limestone pretty soon because those will be turned up to diamond, but it will take many days in this sort of form to get there. So you can see where it's got to by just checking the machine. So this one here has a broken shard. It's waiting for the second broken shard to come in to make a dull shard. So for me to make a diamond, it takes 13. As long as I'm providing 40 in there. I mean, I could easily double this and have another 2 setups here. How could we get this to work? What I'm trying to do is get it into a lot less space. If I can get into a 3x3 space, I'd be extremely happy. And I'm thinking some way of doing it is maybe on the inside. If I have you there coming onto the inside, I have 2 of these going like that. We could then have 2 going back on itself. Change you to the... If I'm going to do that, then I want to change this. I want to make it look nice. And then what we want to do is try and get this up to a 2nd tier. 4 in a row. And because we need... There's the 4. We need 2 levels, 3 levels, and a single one on the top. As long as I can get stand on here, I think that's going to look very, very nice. Okay, those stands don't work. We do have another stand here I very rarely use. Those are perfect. So what might actually be good is before I put these stands on, is let's take a copy of that. Actually, it might have been easier taking a copy of this, but I don't know how I want the 2nd level. So we have to get that from there up to here. Let's try and have a look at going into the furthest slot. Now we know the input of the bottom is going to be either one of these is fine. So I think I want to plan on having a single one there and a stand above it. Now we do have some of these. I very rarely use the incline conveyors. Not quite tall enough. It would have been nice to get it from there. Actually, that could work. Because all I would need to do is from this point here is get a lift. Now, why are you not going... Do lifts not work on these? Oh, I'll go backwards. That does explain it. So that's connected up to there. I've got a nice little ramp so it looked nice and pretty. Going up to the 2nd tier. Then all I've got to do is repeat my blueprint I already created. Ah, it didn't save it. And we add these on the inside so we can just go like that and like that. And then we've just got to raise it up again on the outside. Where do we have these going? I think it was on the inside, wasn't it? No, it was the outside. That's the 2nd tier done. Can I stack these on top again? Oh, that's just lovely. And we know the next tier is going to be exactly the same as the tier below it. And then we've got one more tier on the top, but let's deal with the output. So we've got to get... So you to there is going to be easy because all it's going to be is a single belt like that. You come out the first 2, go in, come to there. I mean, I could try and combine 2 of these lines. It would be faster. If I get this and this into one, then get the 2 there into one. It might be a bit faster. I know it will be. But I think I'm okay with this. So we have to get you from there to there. can pick up some wood. We've got a load somewhere over here. But this is going to look very nice if I could have a big stack like this and a small little thing like this out the front. And then on the very top have a box where all the diamonds are going to get kept. Yeah, let's get another one of them stands. Next tier, I think, might be doing something like... I've got loads of stone. Let's use stone. So that's the second tier going round to here. And then we'd have to repeat this system to get up here. So let's grab a stone block there. You would have to be a lab stand. Grab a stone block there. You come out. Can I do the inclined conveyor, or do I need stuff underneath it? I don't use them very often. Oh no, because you was a tower lift again. Invalid position. And maybe I've got to have some stands underneath. What about that? Does that work? It does. And then we'll lift it up from this point into the machine. So it's gone blue, so we know it works. So we know how we have to repeat this. So it'll be 2 big stands here. A small stand here. And then a block, because we don't need anything else. And then we can put the next conveyor in to get up to the next level. Which we'll just do now. And a single belt coming out there. And then we'd have to have another tower. So that would be 4, 8, 12. The last one only needs a single one to make the diamond. And we could shoot these straight into the shop. We don't have anything on this side to shoot it in, but we can easily move this to wherever. The only problem is when you're moving these, just trying to see how far it's got down. So we're 4 stages away from the end, so it's down to a dull shard already. But yeah, if I move these, I'll have a lot of refined sand. And unfortunately, you never know what stage that refined sand's at. Now, you could possibly use a filter splitter. Maybe tell refined sand to go into the next machine. If it's not refined sand, send it into a box. Might be a way of getting the sand instead of just chucking it all. But no, let's go and do the last one. So you come up to here. We'll have you on the inside track because I'm not certain how I'm going to be doing with you. Plug you in there. So all the conveyors are done on this side, and I think I've got 2 on the back to do. We could just go with the big stands, but no, I like the smaller version for this. Couple of blocks. And let's plug you into there. Now I could... So we need the sand to be going in there. Technically we only need 40. So I think I'm going to combine these blueprints with that. So we technically don't need a 2 space there. I could get away with 1. Do all the belting. You'd be plugged out. You would actually have to have 3 of these systems for this to work. I could just do a short 2 stack. Yeah, let's do that. So I just want the top 2. Okay, I've trimmed it down. But I'm going to change this because it needs to be input on this side over here. How I've got it. It'd be more sensible to bring the tower lift on this side of the build. We want you to come out the front and take from this level. You don't need to be in this build, so I'm just trying to trim it as least cost effective as possible. Them two have to be in, because that's how I'm going to get the stone into sand. So I've got 2 outputs of sand here. We just got to plug it into this. And then I'll save this as a diamond build where I can put down anywhere I want if I need money. It's going to be a great way to get money. We'll just copy this for the moment, just in case something happens. So we did say we only needed 1 space. Let's go over 1. I think that's the position I wanted. So we've got a belt coming from there. We'd need to come into here. So that would be just the easiest to connect. I think I might be able to get the belt under there. If I get the belt under there, then I can get it in an even more compact form. I mean, I could even put this on top, have the stuff going up, and it'd be really tall. But no, I'm going to see if I can get this even compacter. That will definitely plug into that, and I think I can work that round. Might need to just rebelt that up. Take it away. Let's see if I can do this. So that's blue, so I know that's connected. Can I get the second belt connected is my next question. Not from this angle. Maybe taking that out and putting it back in would make it a lot easier. No, because you're... Oh, it'd have to go under here, wouldn't it? I think I've just got them both connected. That is so perfect for a diamond build. I don't think I've seen. You could probably do smaller than this, but that's quite efficient. And I would need a shorter version just there, because we've got to get this belt into you. Okay, it won't allow it from this angle. Let's go up. Try that again. It's just a question of whether that's connected up right. I would need to take all this away for me to know for definite. But it looks it. I think that's perfect. I'm happy with that. And then we'll just have to put a box at the top. Grab one of you. And that's going to make a diamond. Going to take a long time, but it will make a diamond. And because this is sold in the shop, I could even get a cannon here into this build. In for a penny, in for a pound. We might as well do it all in one. So if that's the case, an easier way to do this is take a copy of you, put you on the inside track. So we can just plug that into anywhere. All we'd have to do is shoot the cannon into the shop. I could have multiple of these next to each other. I still won't set the portal up until I'm ready to put them down, just so I can block them up. But it is just stone. Stone's only 600 copper each. And if I put these down, I'm not going to be picking them back up. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Nice and narrow. And any time I've got a space that's not being used, I could chuck one of these down. Could chuck them along the front here. Not that hard to extend the money belt to this corner and round. And we could have this as a diamond corner. Bring it back up here. This doesn't need to be here. That could go anywhere. We can connect it up onto this belt here. And I've got 500,000 on me. I could easily chuck some of that into the shop. He's getting into the early hours of the morning. We haven't checked the quests. Yeah, it's an urgent one. 3 Saturns. I've got no chance. But just look at it. 5 gold. That's 500 and... no, it isn't. Yeah, it would be 500 gold. Would be 500 silver. That would be 900 silver. If I had them Saturns at a much better rate. Now, it does take a massive build to do that. We didn't have one yet, but we are 50% of making one. Just that glass is holding everything up. So yeah, I'm happy with this little build here. Let's save it. Well chuffed with that build. Just see if it actually works. I'll go and plug a couple of them in. And of course, end of day. Okay, so having a look at the numbers. We're selling about twice as much glass as we are the bricks. So if I was ever to set up that build I've got up in the corner, I would definitely have the 2 salt producers on the brick side and the glass as a full sand build. But 162 on the contracts with the gloom spores. Now I'm not doing the basic fertilizer, and 108 on the bandages. 458 to the 800. I could still improve that. Again, another day. 401,000 spent out. 209, and that's considering I am running the diamond build as well. Let's just make sure everything has been grabbed. Yep, that's fine. Confirm that. Save as a blueprint. And I want to be saving this as a diamond. Do we have that as an option? We do. I'll just put it to the balance build because it's got enough inputs to be dealing with that first process. What colour do I want it? Yeah, we'll have it that colour. And now if I want to put these over in this corner, I think I want multiple of these up. It's just going to allow me to print money. Those stairs are not going to be there forever. We want the bus line down the back here. Ah, it's telling me I haven't got enough stuff. So I need more gears, more nails, more wood. Okay, just having a check at these refiners. The first one at the back there. It is already down to shattered crystals. About to make crude. So 2 more stages we will have a diamond. But again, because it needs 2 here. And then those 2 makes 1. It's just using my money for something to make me more money. Now diamonds I don't think ever appear on quests. I could be wrong on that. Gears still haven't sold off from this side yet. But I have got everything I need. I think I want to put the walls up next. And then we'll put you with windows. So yeah, I did have my belt in the right position. And down here, it's going to not need anything except for money. We'll move you out at the moment. And we'll have this as the diamond corner. Try and build as many as we can. Just for now, I'm going to move you out 1. And we will sort something better out with the cannons eventually. I'm sitting on 520,000, so I am just going to chuck a load of money on the belt. If I'm going to be putting a lot of expensive builds down, I want to make sure there's enough money. So this corner down here does nothing but money, and I think I'm going to have all my diamond builds. Maybe down this side, and I'll always change that to a wall if I need to. Let's see how many of these new builds. I think I want to put 1 down at the moment. Okay, let's get that diamond build. I've got everything I've got to build one of them. And then I can always take the other one down and bring it over here as well. So I don't need to get up anything in this corner. All I need to do is make sure them 2 inputs get plugged in onto the line. And then I will bring it right the way up onto the edge here. It is showing red. Why is it showing red? Oh, okay. I was too close to the back. I think you can hold down shift and walk around. Yeah, so that's no good. I need to come out one more. So I need to come onto that wooden thing. Which I think it's there. Yeah, that connects up there. I need to be back in the same position. So it will fit into sort of like a room, nearly. It does like to jump. But that should be the right placement. Yeah, I can see them 2 going in there. So that's going to take a lot of money. We do have the cannon on the top, where we could shoot it straight up into the shop. Just want to see everything sort of coming alive. Well, we will need to set up the things in here, so let's quickly do this. Okay, let's turn on the portals. Tell it to buy limestone. And if you do ever get too much limestone, this is a great way to do it. So what I want to do is see this belt running. I know the other belt's going to run. And what we could also do is take that wall away just for a second. And then we can look at it from both edges. So we are seeing the stone coming out, so that's fine. Not seeing sand. Okay, I'm seeing sand there and it is passing through. So from this location here, I want to see sand coming left and over, which is coming out to that way. I'm not seeing anything coming out of here yet. Yes, there it is. So both those belts are working perfectly. It's going in the first one to do refined sand. And then we should start seeing it come around the back here. Yep, coming around there. And then the next thing I want to do is see it coming out this little corner. As long as it's coming out that corner, then we should be good. Seeing the back machine spin. The one next to me is spinning now. And there it is. We got refined sand. And then the next one is this one here. Should start spinning. Yeah, it's already got some refined sand in there. Just waiting for the second one to come round. As long as this one spins, then I think everything's going to be working right. Like I said, it will take a lot of silver, 60 odd silver, to do a diamond. So it is constantly going to be cutting out from the belt. It's whether this can afford it, but it's only buying these. And if we look at the portal, yeah, it's already got enough to purchase another 3 of the stones. Yeah, you've worked and it's moved down to this stage. One more and then this one will be spinning. So yeah, I'm happy with that build. Now I know it's working. And then we should see diamonds up here at some point. Let's try and get something into the shop. Do we have any more on this side? You was going to be for gears, wasn't you? Yeah, that was what I set up for gears. Now, diamonds will have to go onto a stand. I don't know if that one actually going to be plugged in anywhere. My stand's over there at the moment, but I can easily get another stand somewhere else, like there. A stand over here would be a good idea. Now, most of this stuff down here is obsolete, isn't it? Yeah. You've not been used for a long time. So now my next question is, if I was to put you up against the wall, there, could I get both turquoise and the diamonds into the same shelf? At the moment, turquoise is this one. If I was to turn you, it would. So I'm just going to tell you to go into there. This will sell out and then we won't be adding any more on there. And like I said, it will take a long time before we get our first diamond. But I've got a little storeroom up here if I need any products. It's all the way in one area. And it will go into there. Would have been nice to be able to get a second cannon up here for turquoise and fill up 2 slots. But I can live with that. And then all we need to do is see, can you get up to here? No. Boo. We would just need a line here, I think, of them. The thing is, you can get multiple cannons onto the same input. And because it's going to be really slow, that might actually be an idea. I'm not using this for anything else except for diamonds. We'll have you there then. You can now reach that. And you should be able to chuck into there fairly easy. Put the walls back in. Now we know this is all working. How are you going? Is it up to the 3rd tier yet? No. We're up to broken shards. So that will go up to this one here next. But yeah, we can see everything's working. And I've just got to plug more of them down. So yeah, let's get these walls back in with the brick on. And no, I want the one without. Actually, no, we'll let people see my diamond collection. I think that's nice. No, I want you as a solid. I like too many windows next to each other on the bottom floor. And let's go and take that other build we've got sitting on the floor over here. We'll plug you in. How is this doing? We're still 3 stages away from the end. So I will take all this down and then I'll do something with the refined sand. But yeah, I want to take all this and replace it with this. I don't think I changed anything on this build, so we should be able to just pick this up and plug it in. And it should be easier to line this one up. We'll put it right next to the other one. We just need to come forward 1. We don't need to leave a space between these. And then that cannon can go into here as well. We will have to set up each one of these individually to get them buying. Before I put another one down. Yeah, you can buy limestone. You can buy limestone. Because this line's technically not doing anything, go back one more. Let's make a little alteration to this just so we can get more money going into our diamonds. So I'm going to put a priority splitter. It would be better at this location here. So priority goes below. We'll take you away there. If this line ever fills up, then it can go into this other line. This is not doing anything at the moment. Maybe at some point it will. just for now, we'll do that. So all the money goes down that way. And then this line is obsolete at the moment. Let's go and have a look at the quest for the day. But I'm definitely pleased with that. I will take that one down in between episodes. Take both these builds down. And then do 2 more of these builds over here. Probably have 4 or 5 of them across the back wall. Well, like I said, it's 1 tile away from being perfect. Because I could actually have a wall on the front here. It's just, I need that to be able to thread the stuff round. But I could get 2 of these in an easy block. I think if I can get 5 here, I'll be happy. Won't make a diamond often, but we will see it appear on the menu if it does. So yeah, let's go and have a look at that quest. We are coming up towards the end of the day, just in case it's an urgent. It's a bulk order. It needs 2 Saturns. And again, this is what I was worried about with unlocking the Saturns. Looks like we might have made one. With 16% on the next one. So I'm guessing all the glass I did provide it is all gone now. But yeah, we do have a complete Saturn in there already. Unfortunately, not the 2 I need. But we've still got a few hours in the day. If we're doing 20% a minute, if it was running efficient, which it's not, then you could make one in 5 minutes if you have a perfect setup for this. Might be something I'll look at doing. Because we know how to deal with the salt. We know we need 120 salt a minute, and we know each one of the machines, like this one up here, is doing 10. So we would need 12 salt machines just for the first part. And we do know the sand is very useful in both these builds. So I could do a fully balanced Saturn build. And 157 experience. How much are we up to into the next levels now? 173. So it would take more than one of those to get us a level. I'm not going to put it in yet. I'm keeping that on me. Just for quests. We might be able to get that quest done. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it there on this one. I'm happy I've got the diamond build. And like I said, in between episodes, I will be definitely taking down the other 2 and see if we can put another 2 up as well. Get 5 and then I'll be happy. And then we'll move on to... Part of me wants to go into the relic. Because if we clear all this space down here, then I could put a relic across here. A fully efficient version of this that goes into the shop. We could easily get up here at anywhere across here. And get into cannons quite easy. That's all going to be in the next one. Hopefully you're still enjoying the series. And I'll be seeing you all again soon. Thank you very much for watching.